one more time before I get caught up in what I gotta do. I breathe in deep and let life move through. Thankful for the breath, thankful for the day, thankful for another chance to make my way. I don't know everything this day is gonna bring, but I know how I'm choosing to step into it. Open, ready, yeah. I'm rising, I'm rising. I take my time and let myself arrive. Stretch out my body, feel the breath inside. Open up the windows, let the sunlight through. Fresh air in the room, fresh energy too. Light a flame if that's what I need. Pour a little water, plant a little seed. Give thanks to the ancestors who opened up the way. Do it to the edge of Peru as I step into my day, and I don't have to hold how everything will unfold. I just know I'm walking like a story still being told. There's more life for me to live, more love for me to give, more wisdom for me to learn, more abundance for me to earn, more laughter, more peace, more room for me to breathe. I am not waking up just to survive another day. I'm waking up to live. I'm rising, wake up, and I'm calling in the light, calling in abundance, calling everything alive. I expect something good to find me. I expect something beautiful to grow. I expect the seeds that I have planted to give me something back to hold. I'm grateful for what's here while I make room for what's to come. I got life inside my body and the rising sun above. So I step into this day knowing I already belong. I am here, I am ready, I am rising with the sun. Turn the music up, let the drum beat play, let the body move and shake yesterday away. Move those shoulders, move those feet, find that rhythm underneath. Because everything I carried yesterday doesn't get to follow me today. Some things I'm leaving where they happen, some things I'm finally letting go. Some things taught me what I needed, and that's enough for me to know. Today I'm choosing something different. Today I'm choosing how I feel. Today I'm making room for something that feels good because it's real. I choose peace without explaining it. I choose joy because I can. I choose abundance without shrinking just to make somebody else understand. I choose to trust what's growing. I choose to honor where I've been. And if life gives me another chance, I'm choosing myself again. I'm rising and I'm calling in the light, calling in abundance, calling everything alive. I expect something good to find me. I expect something beautiful to grow. The work I've done is not forgotten. Every seed I planted, no. Grateful for what's here while I make room for what's to come. I got life inside my body and the rising sun above. So I step into this day knowing I already belong. I am here, I am ready, I am rising with the sun. May the right doors open, may the wrong ones stay closed. May I have enough discernment to know the difference between both. May what belongs to me find me without me losing myself along the way. May my gifts make room for me. May my purpose help provide for me. May the work of my hands be blessed and what I create come back multiplied. May my home know peace. May my people know love. May there always be enough for something left to give. And when something doesn't happen the way I thought it should, I won't call the whole day bad. I won't call myself behind. I won't forget how far I've come because one thing took a little time. Nah, I'm still here, still growing, still learning, still becoming. And that is something worth rising for. I'm rising with gratitude in my heart. I don't need to see the whole world just to be willing to start. I expect goodness in my life. I expect abundance in my home. I expect peace within my spirit. I expect my gifts to grow. I expect love that feels like love. I expect joy that feels like joy. I expect the things meant for my life to recognize me when they arrive. So open up the window. Let the sunlight touch your face. Let those drums move through your body. Give ourselves some room and space. So open up the windows. Let the sunlight touch your face. Let those drums move through your body. Give yourself some room and space. Give thanks for those who came before you. Thanks for another day. Speak something beautiful over your life. Then get up make your way. Because Ra is rising, life is moving, they are still becoming. So I'm not just getting up today. I'm rising, I'm rising. Someday I said, someday I said, someday I said, someday I said, I'm rising. What a never song. Beautiful song, never. I'm rising. Anki Ma'at, everyone. Anki Ma'at,
Auntie Mad.
and that song was created by none other than yours truly, right here. It's the Shop Ma'aka. Would you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to create that song?
Yeah, so I am getting back into doing my rising mantras that I do. I don't do them every day anymore, but so when I was sitting with myself, meditating on what I was going to do today for the rising mantra, this song came about, and some other stuff that I was working on, that I got some stuff coming up soon in the future. Um, and this came to me about us rising with Ra. Um, and when we rise, it's a new, right? Something new, and it's a new beginning. So let go and release the old stuff. So it's something about, okay, so what do I do when I get up in the morning, when I rise the Ra? And I get up, I light my candle, turn on some music, burn some incense, pour libations to my ancestors and Dwa R Hrw, and all that good stuff. So that's where it came.
Oh, well, that is beautiful. And speaking of some of your rising mantras, with your permission, of course, I would like to share today's rising mantra that you created. I'm going to pull that back up here, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I hate watching myself, but yes.
I feel the same way when we're on camera. I don't like looking. You know what I mean? I know that the purpose of which we do things is one thing. I just don't like necessarily seeing myself, but I
I know,
think
but
that
we got to get over it. We got to get
yeah,
over it.
we're getting over it. And look, that's
This is
some of what
helping me
we'll
get
be
over it.
talking about
Thank you.
today. So I'm going to share that before we get into the open of the way. And I do want to say Anki Ma'at to send Curtis, Anki Ma'at to send Jason. I see you there. Yes, that song is Sinette. She created that song, and that I was in the background feeling it, needless to say, feeling it for sure. So let me just go ahead and share that mantra for today. And we will get into the opening of the way after, and get into today's topic. All right. Can you all see that? I'm going to go ahead and hit play here. One moment. Hold up. Where's my sound? Wait a minute. On the other one, I could hear it. How come I can't hear this? Okay. I see why.
Aki Ma'at, peace, love, light, and many yummy blessings to you all. Magnificent rising, right? So I come to you today with today's rising mantra, which is, I trust what leads when I choose alignment. I am no longer available for what causes me to abandon myself. I release without needing to erase. What is complete may now be complete. It can be done, it can be finished, all that good stuff, right? As I make space for what I am becoming. Yes, I'm rising. Rise today, rise today. Yes, and as you do that, make it a wonderfully best one. Peace, love, light to you all.
Stretch on my body, feel the breath inside. Open up the windows, let the sunlight.
Aki.
Now, I do want to, I do want to say that as I
I
was
can't
listening
sing,
to
y'all.
the song, look, as I was listening to
Listen,
that
I write it.
song,
I write the lyrics. I do the This AI is wonderful. I write the lyrics. I give them my voice. I do the music. You know, both my sons are musicians. I do that, and then I take had them take my voice and make it better.
Well, I tell you what, it was really, really good. And what I could gather from that when I listened to that, because just so you know, I'm adopting that now that I've got it downloaded uh, as my morning, because not only is it a morning mantra, but it's the ritual, and it's talking about wake up, stretch your body. You know what I mean? It's getting, and it's very, some of our songs, even though we love them, are kind of slow and lowly. It's very kind of rejuvenating, not just uplifting. It's almost getting you, okay, so like we all have going to the club experiences, and the music that you listen to while you getting ready. You know, I know that
Mhm.
most of the women, my husband will catch me and come around the corner and we about to go out somewhere, and I got some music playing to get you, in the mood. That is some beautiful day mood music, morning day
Thank you.
music.
Awesome.
So,
That's the purpose of it. That is the purpose of. I hear so many other people creating, the morning mantra songs, and them that I listen to, on YouTube and other places. And I want to do the same thing, but I wanted at the same time to think about some of the stuff that we do as,
uh-huh.
comedic practitioners. You get up in the morning, you stretch your body, you do the opening the way, um, all those different things,
Yeah,
you know,
that is
activate your altar, all that good stuff like that. So
absolutely. I know it's got me, you know what I mean? It's that, not only that feel good, but if you're not getting ready in the morning and getting yourself prepared, like you said, getting ready to do open it away and start moving to that, then y'all not feeling that. Because that's exactly how I felt. I see Cortia. Hey, Anke my to you saying that Cortia.
I'll keep my eyes sit
Yes.
there.
All right. Well,
I
before
was
we
about to open in the way. We finna open the way right now.
yeah, we finna open it away right
Got ourselves
now,
ready
right
for it, right?
now. And then we'll get into today's topic. As you can see, we are honoring what has ended and making room for what is next, which is exactly what that song was actually about. You know what I mean? You getting up, starting your day, and it was talking about letting go of things that no longer serve you. If you listen to the words, um, you can always find that song if you want to hear it on replay, so you can kind of let the words marinate with you. Go on to our Sinette's page. She's posting her mantras, and we'll talk about some of that, and I'm sharing them as well. But you can go back and put that song on repeat so you can hear a lot of the words. I know we didn't rush through it, but in case you didn't catch all of those verses, go back and listen to that. So let's go ahead and get the opening of the way. I have shared this opening of the way before. Today we're going to be sharing the opening of the way done by Raquette from the Raquette second, and this was, let me see what the date is. She did this 11 years ago. So 11 years ago. We're currently St. Jason, if you are here still, I'm looking for the one that Baba Heru did. A lot of people had that video, but I cannot seem to find it. And you all played it during Sebayit last week. It was either Comedic Ascension or Sebayit. So if you guys could kindly share that video with me, I'd like to play that one at times as well. So today we're going to be playing another classic here. That moment. I didn't know it wasn't even playing. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I was about to tell you.
I didn't even realize it's there. It's playing on mine, but I never put it on the. There we go. My bad. Y'all know we kind of middle aged. nebehet, Anuk, nebehet, Anatarak, happy, Anuk, happy, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, serket, Anuk, serket, Anatarak, hepsanuk, Anuk, hepsanuk, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, aset, Anuk, aset, Anatarak, anset, Anuk, anset, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, nit, Anuk, nit, Anatarak, Dua, mutet, Anuk, Dua, mutet, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, nut, Anuk, nut, Anatarak, geb, Anuk, geb, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, shuk, 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 Anuk, shuk, Anatarak, tapnut, 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 nut, Anuk, nut, Dua, Dar, Anatarak, pau, nataru, Anuk, pau, nataru, Anatarak, ru, Anuk, ru, Dua, Dar.
All right. All right. All right. Now you can see, unfortunately, Cortia, I know the volume is low on that, but that's the highest that it goes. When you look at it on YouTube, you can't hear it as well. So that's the highest that the volume goes. It's always low. Every time I play that, I'm trying to get it loud as possible, but that's as high as it goes. And yes, that was Raket Kajara from Reseki Arts Temple. And I like playing, as you can see, when I play the various ones, you can see the differences that some folks have, adopted it, or some folks have learned it, and the difference in the way that they perform the opening of the way. And I find that interesting, it's a great thing to see the versatility and how it has, I guess, evolved over the years, because that video was from 11 years ago. And even as you all, when we get to see the one that Dwa R Hrw done, if you haven't seen that, you can see some of the slight differences. And there's a couple, if you look on YouTube, there's a couple of different temples that do it that you can find, and you can see the various, the slight differences. Again, that's never, to me, in my opinion, it's not to say who's doing it correctly, who's doing it incorrectly. I just, I think it's very interesting to see the differences. But then, as you know, if all Kemetic temples have events and come together, they're still able to perform the opening of the way and still have the same concepts. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
At Dwa R Hrw's service, it was so amazing because the entire auditorium, and these are people, they were sacred women, they were kingsmen, there were people from various, like, not all necessarily specific Kemetic practitioners, most were, but there were people from all walks of life that had come to this service, yet they all knew the opening of the way. So that entire, is like, it was at the Medgar Evers College in the auditorium. So when the opening of the way was done, I mean, the vibration was amazing. Yeah, amazing. Wonderful experience. All right. Well, let's get into it.
Yes, yes, yes. So, so like Sinette Shinkai said, we're honoring what has ended and making room for what is next. So we gather around a simple but powerful question: what am I still carrying that has already completed its purpose? Um, there are things in our life that are meant to be to remain, and there are some things in our life that's need to be released. Time to go. Like I said, is a some things are here for a season, some things are here for a lifetime, and we talked about. I think the last couple of times we've been on here, myself and others mentioned the fact of life in the universe and how we are. Everything is cycles, right? In cycles and continue to move on. And sometimes in those cycles we have to they're complete and we let them go. So maybe old habits, old pains, disappointment, relationships, arguments, um, this version of you. It doesn't have to be a bad thing or anything like that or something horrible. It's just whatever that is, it has completed its purpose in your life and it's time to release it, let it go to make room for what is next to come, right? For what is next for you in your life. You're becoming all those good things. So that's what we're gonna get into today.
Okay. And I gotta keep my little notebook so when the thoughts come up. And as this topic evolves today, the first thing that what I'm hearing in my head, and I can't sing y'all, but I love sister bag lady.
You gonna be show
It's
us
your bus, and you can't
carrying all them bags like that.
exactly. So that's a lot of us, and we say bag lady because that's the song, but we talking about bags in general because this is not isolated to men, women. We all got baggage, and it's time to let that shit go. And excuse my language, but keeping it all the way above with everybody. Everybody knows the way I speak, and that we gotta release. So emptying them bags, making room for what's next. You know what I mean? And like
Exactly.
there's there's so many different aspects to this. Old habits, old pain, disappointment, relationships we're still holding on to. Sometimes that's hard because you spend time with people and you build these relationships and you assume that they're supposed to last forever, whether they be friendships, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's business, associates, all kinds of things. But sometimes, and we also have to understand that when a season ends and when we are making room and clearing that clutter, making space for what's to come next, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm cutting you off and it just means that you're moving on. That season is over. So you got to be okay with releasing people as well. And it doesn't necessarily mean something bad occurred or something bad didn't occur. It just means that season is over. What is the crops from that particular season has already been reaped, sowed, and done what needs to be done with
Yes,
it.
you eaten it, you chewed it up, you did all those good things. It served its purpose. Um, you give thanks to it, and you release it. You let
That's
it go. It's complete. So why are we holding on to something that has been complete in our lives, right?
right.
But we looking for these better things, these greater things to come, and all many of us want to step into this next phase in our lives. Like you said, we almost all middle age, right? About to break into a different cycle. Some of us we have tons of people. We have some people in their 30s, how in their 40s, 50s, and high up, and even some younger people that watch this as well. But it's change. It's about change. Change happens for everyone. That is the part, the cycle of a life. We are part of the universe. That what the universe does. Anything that is constant is change, and knowing that when that happens, to let those things go, like you said, relationships, a habit, um looking at yourself the way you used to be.
Absolutely.
That's something
Absolutely.
that you need to complete. That's not you anymore. This is what you are.
We do a lot of times, and again, this was our conversations here. It's adoration and praise. It's not judgment. So we talk about these things, we put them on the table, but often we keep returning to cycles that are complete because it's familiar, it's routine, it's comfortable. Even when those situations might be some of those situations are uncomfortable, it's still comfortable returning to it because it's what we know. You know what I mean? We fear what's on the other side of that, and it could be better. It could be, we don't know. We talked about storms last week and things like that, but we still return to some of those completed cycles because it's so familiar. It's so routine. It's such You know what I mean? We know the territory. You know what, you know what you need to wear in that situation. You know what needs to be said. You know, the attitude you need to have, even whether it's low vibration or high vibration, you know what it is. So we definitely do that. We replay conversations over and over again. Well, sometimes when a conversation
Let it go.
let it go. It might
Girl.
not be what you wanted to hear, but it was had already.
Yeah. And this is a great space to go the segue into the giving of the flowers, right?
Yeah.
How we gonna give some flowers? And today we offer flowers for the cycles that have completed, that is done, right? We want it's completed, right? So what we're doing is, someone's like, I don't know why they started about that. That's crazy, but letting something go. And it came to my brain, I gotta tell this man, I like you all, but you gotta go. I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you your flowers. I appreciate you. Thank you for how you served me, but now it's time to bounce. See you later. So, with that being said, we're gonna give flowers for relationships that taught us, flowers for the experiences that strengthen us, flowers for mistakes that gave us wisdom, flowers for seasons that brought us joy, and for the seasons that brought us pain, flowers for the versions of ourselves that we have outgrown. We do not offer these flowers with anger. We offer them with gratitude, right? We give thanks. Right. What has served its purpose may be honored and it can be released. And when I say this, when we say we release it, that doesn't mean we erase it. We don't have to act like nothing happened or these things weren't a part of, like, for instance, outgrowing who you were to become what you want to be, right? And what your purpose is, fully walking in who you are. You don't have to erase that stuff or let go of any of those things. Even the hurt and the pain, it's because it's who you are. So we're not saying we're releasing it, erasing it. We're just letting it go. It has completed its purpose for us. So there's no reason for us to sit in it, to stay with it, and to dwell on it. It's time to, pack that stuff up, put it over there, and open up space for something new.
That's right. Pack light. Pack light, and you got that right. It's no sense in erasing it, because every season that we've gone through has been a transition to create who we're becoming. And a lot of folks say, I'm going to change. Well, you're not necessarily changing. You're just evolving more into who you are becoming. There's no use in even pretending that these things didn't exist. I don't agree with sweeping shit under the rug. I think those rugs are dangerous. You know what I mean? They're meant for decoration only, not to hold your dirt. So I think that's something that's extremely important to keep those things in mind. Don't hold on to them. Let them go. But they were who create you. So when you have a story to tell, those things, they're parts of those things, if not all, are part of that story. Because people want to know, who are you, and how did you become this version of yourself?
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to reflect on how you became this version of yourself. So definitely, I agree with everything. It's not even an agree or disagree. It is what it is. Those things are gonna.
Yes.
You don't have to agree. They're gonna exist no matter what.
Exactly. And I also believe, from my own personal experiences, is you really can't become who you are and move to the next phase of your life if you ignore and act like you don't, that other stuff, or who you used to be, and everything that has brought you to where you are now. If you act like it didn't exist, it's not. Then you become fragmented. You become a fragmented person. Talk about like a star. He's fragmented, right? Can't do nothing. But when all them pieces are together, all of him is like all of you. Then you become and you walk in your power.
That's right. That's right. Also, speaking of that, when you are fragmented that way, you find yourself in repetitious, in the repeated cycles, in situations that give the same result, whether it's another person, whether another job, whatever the case is, you're still finding yourself at the same crossroads because you are fragmented, and we're trying to, you're trying to remove what's already there instead of going through it. You got to allow the process, because once the process is started, it's another form of my art. It's going to restore itself, but the cycle has to be completed. So no matter how you humanly try to manipulate it, it is going to find its way to look. It's looking for that cycle completion. You know what I mean? It's looking for that. So until you allow the process of things Go through that storm like we previously talked about so that you can see what's on the other end of it. It's going to continue to repeat. And you're going to find yourself in a world of confusion always because you're standing in the way of this process that has to be complete. All those seasons, every season we have has to get to we have to have spring before we have summer. Summer has to come before fall. Fall has to come before winter. So
Yes.
all of those things have to take place. So now we're going to get into our 4 breaths today. And today our 4 breaths are we're going to breathe the breaths of release today in honor of the topic. So it's going to be, we're going to be taking the breath for breathing in peace, exhaling chaos and resentment, breathing in forgiveness, exhaling guilt, breathing in courage. That's a good one. Courage. And exhaling fear, because sometimes we stand in the way of our next supposed to be because we're afraid. Again, that routine. So we're going to breathe in courage and exhale fear, and breathing in the future and releasing the past.
Do
And
I,
again,
do I,
not moving, just releasing.
do I.
All right, so let's get our minds right for our 4 breaths. And here's our first. Breathing in peace and exhaling resentment. And our second. Breathe in forgiveness and exhale guilt. And the third is courage and exhale fear. And our fourth is for our future and releasing the past.
Yes.
All right. Now feel that weight becoming lighter as we get into more conversation today. I feel I still think that song was so motivating. I'm feeling this energy today. I'm feeling it.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh goodness. Ooh, we're gonna do this real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the adoration for our Dwa R Hrw of renewal and transformation. Then we get more into some conversation.
Right.
Ihawu in my art. Hail to my art, lady of truth, balance, and right order. Show us what is true. Help us recognize when something has reached its natural conclusion. Give us the wisdom to stop forcing what no longer belongs. May we choose balance over attachment. I like that.
Oh, I like that one. Do I?
May we choose balance over attachment. I'm finna take this. It's about to be a rising mantra. May we choose balance over attachment. Yahu, my and Hawu Asar. Hail to Asar, Lord of renewal and transformation. Teach us that transformation sometimes requires leaving one form behind so another may emerge. Come on now. May we trust the process of becoming. Oh my God, all this stuff is so in alignment, man. Dang, yes. And Hawu and Aset. Hail to Aset, great lady of wisdom and devotion. Give us the wisdom to know what deserves our continued devotion and what must be released. May we carry forward the wisdom without carrying forward the pain and the baggage and whatever weight else may be. And Hawu Aset. And Hawu and Hrw. Hail to Hrw who rises beyond opposition. Give us the courage to move forward. May we stop allowing yesterday's battles to determine today's direction. May we have the strength to face what is ahead. Yes, and Ihawu and Ra. Hail to Ra, whose light rises anew. Every sunrise reminds us yesterday has ended. Today has arrived.
Mhm.
May we greet each new day with an open heart. And how to
Dwa, dwa, dwa. Mhm.
Yes, man, all this stuff is so in alignment. You knew everything that I was in here all day yesterday. I did not leave my house. I was just here, inundated in this. Um, Ironing what has ended and making room for what is next. The completion and what that looks like and how it's going to move forward. And oh my, yes, alignment, alignment, alignment. I just
Yeah,
thank
and I'm
my
feeling that.
ancestors
I
and
feel
yes to the Dwa R Hrw for guiding me and teaching me and speaking through me, speaking through you. Oh goodness, yes, 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 yes.
absolutely. And as we take a moment, we talked about these cycles, cycles being complete. We have to ask ourselves, what keeps coming back into our lives that we have not released? Question why? Why are we holding on to things, certain things? You know what I mean? And again, when we pose these thought-provoking questions, it's not necessarily for you all to answer. You guys can share what you choose to, what you feel comfortable with. You know that this space is safe enough for us to talk about anything. But, you know, think about that. What keeps coming back into our lives because we have not released it? Might be showing up in different costumes, so to speak. You know what I mean? But what keeps returning to us that we know um, has been completed? You know, and I was thinking about what you said about your friend. You got to tell him, thank you for serving your purpose, and he's got to go, and this, that, and the other. Sometimes we also, when the season is
That was
over.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
Just to
I,
keep
I
it out
know.
there.
I'm just saying, and I'm going on
It just came to my
hypothetical.
brain because I
Yeah,
have said that I have done that, but I don't know why that thought came to my
and
mind.
it
Well, I was
doesn't mean
thinking
that
about
that's
a dude,
actually
like,
what's
hey,
happening
thank you,
right
but
now.
gotta go. Here's your flowers, brother.
But here's your
Appreciate you.
commanding your power. Sometimes you can release a thing and hand it seeds, just like when we go planting seeds in our garden. You know what I mean? And it does its natural thing. Sometimes when we're complete, our cycle's complete. It doesn't mean what's on the other side that their side, like especially when it has to do with other people. You know,
Mhm.
your season may be complete, but theirs may not. Sometimes you got to give them seeds and release them. It's complete over here with me, buddy. But if it's not for you, you need to go plant them seeds and see what comes up and move on in your process. But for me over here, my process is complete. So you got to go figure this out. Sometimes that can be a hindrance to us too. We keep coming back to things
True.
that's complete with us, only because whoever may be on the other side of that season may not be complete with them, but you still have to release that. So sometimes
True.
you got to give them seeds. You got to seeds and let them go. Pieces of you and let them go. You know what I mean? You
Mm.
got to figure it out, just like we had to figure it out on our end. you know.
One of the questions that I saw when you sent me everything was what version of myself am I afraid to let go of? That's a big one, right? What
Mm,
version of myself am I afraid to let go of? And me thinking on that on my for myself, that's something I had contemplated for several months now, actually, getting stuck in certain things. And I'll give an example, being totally transparent. At work, I have this thing of this in life, right? Depending on how you grew up, you ain't trying to be seen as weak. You ain't trying to be no punk. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to have nobody play you. You always got to make sure people know what it is. Like I got to let you know what it is.
mhm,
Um, and that's the version of myself that I think I am afraid to let go of. Like I got to let you know who I am, what it is. Even in a professional setting, this is my credentials. You trying to check me or play me like I don't know what I'm talking about. But now I'm learning I don't have to do that. I can just sit back, right? I am who I am, regardless. And that's completed. That cycle has served its purpose, right? That version of me has served its purpose. And this new version is me just being. And around me, you know who I am.
mhm,
I don't have to tell you. And if you don't, I still can sit back. You'll
mhm,
find out. And that's not saying that in a way like we trying to say you're gonna find out what it is. It's just general. I am who I am.
mhm,
Regardless if you know it, you don't know it, you don't believe it, I still walk in the light that has been put inside of me. So
mhm,
for me, that's an example of that, trying to let go of that old version of me and recognizing how it really didn't serve me in some spaces. It made it even, harder for
absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. I can understand, but we all have a sense of, we're not going to be like you said, downplayed. We're not going to be, you're not gonna take away my worth or whatever, but it's like you said, I mean, nobody, you don't need, when you are who you are, you don't have to stand on the soapbox to say, I got a light shining, here it is. It's going to shine no matter what, and people will see that light shining without you having to announce that it's on. You know what I mean? Because you are who you are, just like you said. You are who you are. Um, Now, granted, there may be times that we have to speak up.
Oh,
Granted,
of
of course.
course, of course.
And that's
Just don't have to always live that way. Like I
yeah.
have to, even when I did something like maybe felt that maybe somebody didn't understand me or something, like the old version of me always felt like I had to over explain
Mhm,
everything. What
mhm.
I'm saying, who I am, what I meant, what I didn't mean, whatever, all those things. And now I understand it's just, especially because I feel like I'm more in alignment with who I am and more in alignment with the universe, with the Dwa R Hrw, with my ancestors. It is going to land where it's supposed to land. It's going to be what it's going to be. There's no reason for me to keep walking backwards trying to fix something that has already happened. Like you said, you had a conversation, and now you're in your brain thinking over and over in that conversation how you could have said this, how you could have did this.
Mhm, mhm,
It's done. It's complete. What's it? What's
mhm.
what's what's ahead of us? But the Cortez said, "I am that I am." Yes,
That's
you
right.
lose explanation after a while. Yep.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't, it's not always required. You know what I mean? It's not always required. So live in that, live in who
Exactly.
you are, stand on who you are. Nobody can define who you are. You just live it. And you said that. That's true. Age gives maturity, Cortia. And as we were talking about earlier, middle age, I know that we're technically on deck to be the elders. Like we're next. You know what I mean? We're literally next. Within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to be them. You know what I mean? Like many of us in about 10 years, we're going to be pushing 60. Like seriously.
Yeah.
I'm gonna almost be 60 in that time frame. That sounds
Yeah.
weird now, but I'll be 58, so exactly, Martia. And some folks are already, so it's kind of like, what are we giving our energy to? You know what I mean? Anyway, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's out. We need to make
I
it work.
agree. Yeah, and I also want to say too, when we're talking about, we're saying we're ironing, right? What has ended. So making sure that we understand that we can release what has been completed um without dishonor. And that's the whole purpose of right today, is understanding that and giving voice to that. We can honor even the things that weren't always so good to us or for us or whatever it may be. In it, you most likely have grown. If you move through it and it's complete, you learned your cycle from it, so you can give honor to it, right? um you don't have to dishonor those spaces. You don't even have to dishonor the spaces in your life of who you are. Like for instance, dealing with some people talking about they feel like your shadow or whatever, or I can say I don't have to dishonor the fact that sometimes I want people to fully understand where I'm coming from.
Uh-huh.
I can just I can give honor to it for its purpose and its place, like you said, right, Shanka? When it has a time and space for it, and then know how to move accordingly moving forward. So that's something to really understand. Sometimes we want to, I think a lot of people when they think of release, it's just I'm releasing this, I'm letting it go. You get out of here, I'm cutting you up, shut,
Right,
it ain't even gotta be all of that. I mean, sometimes it's necessary. I ain't going like it's not, but there's two sides to a coin, right? There's always a different way of looking at it. So you have to take what best serves you. All of us are on this walk. We're committed practitioners. However, with that being said, we all may move in a different way, and that does not mean that I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong and I'm right. None of those different things. At all. It just means you have to look within you and see what serves your purpose for you. You might have to cut it all up and be like, you got to get up out of here. And for some we can go into it. I honor you, I respect you. Um, you're no longer needed here. Peace and
right.
blessings to you. So just remember that. And that's another thing we want to, put out to you guys here as well. Just like Shankai was saying earlier with the opening of the way. It has the same foundation, the same bones, all those things, but everybody may have altered and may have evolved. to suit those people. And as we grow and we learn, you alter some stuff, right? Same thing.
Even
And
on
none of them are wrong.
none of them are wrong. And then just like in some, even on the topic of today, one of the questions said something about, healing wounds and different things like that. And it's just like you just mentioned, you don't always have to, these things can be done various ways. Doesn't necessarily mean you've got to go back to the wound and pull the scab off. Doesn't always mean that. It doesn't mean that in order to get past something that you need to heal from, you've got to go back and repeat the trauma and pull the scab off. And again, sometimes it's as simple as saying, yeah, honor and respect you, and I no longer, I'm past this. I no longer need to revisit this. There's so many different ways to releasing, just like she said. And it all depends on where you stand, where you are in on your journey. You know what I mean? But there's so many various ways. It doesn't look, there's no, what do you call it? There's no general manual.
Yes. There's no general manual for this. There's no quote unquote Bible for this, right? There is just a template for it. I
Mhm.
also like to say too, even with us all being comedic practitioners and we're all on our own path for a process, we do have to recognize that within us, especially people here in the United States of America or all across the diaspora, that have I don't say descendants, I say ascendants that have gone through the African, have gone through the the slave trade. We have ancestors that come from all over places, and within them are different cultures, different practices. So you have to take what resonates with you from that. Meaning, uh, if you are in tune with yourself, that means you're in tune with the natural, you're in tune with your ancestors, meaning their blood runs through you. You
Mhm.
feel it and it comes up. They will guide you to what practices work for you. And what worked for me may be different from what works for Shinkai. I may have my ancestors come up. I am Yoruba from Nigeria. Some of that may come up. So then I have the Orishas that may come up. In the Shinkai, it may not be that. She might be, have some Igbo, you know what I'm saying? And their culture and the way they work with the spirit, things may come up in her, but we're both comedic practitioners. But in those things, African things can come up. But at the same time, even with them, they still have the same foundation. You see what I'm saying? It's just slightly different how we may choose to, walk in it or whatever the case may be. So we have to, understand that as well.
That's right. And there's no wrong or right way. You know what I mean? It's just, and the thing is when our, even working with your ancestors, they're always guiding. When you, even when
Mm.
you don't know it, they're always informing you. They're always, when you feel off, like when you're in the process of making decisions, and you make a decision, it's just like our own remorse when we do something that technically is, we know that ain't right, but we do it anyway, and you have that guilt and different things like that. That's still your ancestors reminding you, realigning you. You know what I mean? That, yeah, that ain't right what you just did. You know what I mean? Or when you know said, he said Shinkan may be Native American. It's possible, but I did do my DNA, St. James. Don't know how truthful or valid those things are, but I definitely was interested. And it showed that I am 67% Nigerian. So at least one thing that I was proud of is that it had more of the it had almost 70% all African descent, which was great. That part I love, because we don't know what we are technically as far as our DNA goes, and whether or not that information is true. I look at that. I still look at it often, just because it makes me proud to know that at least the other part is lesser, but it's possible, and it didn't show any Native American whatsoever
Yeah.
with that.
Just a little fun fact that I've learned over some of my studies is a lot of us here in the United States, when we see our lighter complected brothers and sisters,
Uh-huh.
and some of them with the uh, lighter curl, not as tight curled hair, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? We automatically say that they are the bloodline of Native Americans. Some of them are. However, what I found in my research is that less than 3 to 5% of us here have Native American blood in us. that blood is a mixture of African and European blood that turned out looking like you were Indian, and great grandma was Indian. Now great grandma just got black and white in her, or one of her parents did. Not to mention the fact you got to remember too, on the continent we have all different shades that ain't have nothing mixed in us. Okay, so you know, we know that song, you know, back in the day, like you said, you as you live you grow you learn. Back in the day, you know, we knew what we knew. Now so we had the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, that means you're closer to the continent. It's a lie.
That is,
that's cool. It served its purpose at that time. You know what I'm saying? You serve your person, like you said with yours, you know, with their ancestry, you know, you one of the lightest, fairest skin of us, you know what I'm saying? But 70% of you is what? From the continent, from Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so
I was
sometimes
excited.
we have to debunk that myth in it. And it hurts us sometimes, but also I feel like we need to debunk it, because I know I'm going off topic, but we have to debunk it because we here in the United States of America, we have this thing where we don't even know it subconsciously. We are still so ashamed of saying that we're from Africa. We want to say we are anything else but African.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I got Indian in me, and now you all hyped up because you got Indian in me. No, you don't. You got African, and you got a whole lot of white in you. You know what I'm saying? And they look a little Indian now, or what we consider to be Indian now. You know, so I think debunking that makes it so that we can't stand on that anymore. Now we have to stand on truly who we are. Until you stand on who you are, you can't begin to build up that self-confidence again of who you are and what it is. You know, everybody, you know, not all of us, but a lot of us have this thing, you know, oh, I'm Indian, I got Indian in me. So therefore now you feel like you're more now.
Absolutely, because I know my grandparents
because you
and a lot of elders were, oh, we, you know, such and such Indian, and so I never regurgitated that, only because I didn't know until I could actually prove whatever it was. Now, of course, I did have the fear. I honestly had the fear that being of lighter skin, that I was going to be further away from which, you know, was one of the things that I feared. I'm pulling it up now just because I want to see it. But
you know, it was a sister that's on the I don't know what the name of the daggone talk show, whatever talk show that Whoopi Goldberg is on, and it's a lady on there, and I believe she's Hispanic, and she did her DNA, and she was saying how she was black and she was Hispanic, and you know her thing came up that she's more Caucasian than anything else, and she said she was tripping out. But she's I mean, that's how she grew up. That's what it is. So she's still moving that. But yeah, she was, you know, that some of her African culture that she felt, but it's still there. And that's another thing too that we have to understand. Like Sinead Sakura says, you know, sometimes mixed races bring other races. That we have a lot of stuff in us, and there's nothing wrong to honor all of it. And again, whatever resonates with you, whatever comes out of you, through your pathological DNA that has, you know, in there for you and your ancestors to talk to you about, you walk in that. You know, that's not dishonoring any other part of you or what have you, you know, because that young lady on that show, she is African descent. She does have Hispanic, African, Afro-Latino descent in her. African, period. Afro-Latino, whatever, is African descent in her. It was just that she had more of, you know, the Spaniards blood than the African blood.
Yeah, and definitely St. James, I definitely had the European both sides, definitely. Because I did both sides, and I was just like, it brought tears to my eyes to just know that majority of it was African descent, you know what I mean? But
yes, that is okay.
I would think that all of us born here in the United States would have some form of that European, and I definitely did.
Check this out, because you know, girl, I love the DNA stuff, right? So you know, I was watching some Oprah Winfrey did hers, right? And they did hers, and how about she has no European descent, her bloodline going up as far as they could take it, none. Exactly. Ain't that amazing? I have not done it for mine. Wonderful. I just did African DNA, and I did for my mother. So my mother's mother, and that's where I got to where Yoruba in Nigeria, and that's my descent. I haven't done my father's side, and I haven't done my whole DNA thing. And the other way to see, because this one I did specifically because I wanted to know what my African background was. And for me, my everybody's journey is different, and why they choose to do it and how they choose to do it. Mine was because I know what I felt, and I wanted to be sure of it in paper because I know where my spiritual journey is taking me, kind of thing. So that was more of that is what it is, to see what direction I need to go into. But I think I probably do my whole thing too and see,
I
what
did
it
both
comes into.
sides, and I wanted to do the deeper one because there's a deeper one that'll give you some more ancient information too. So
Yes.
I was looking for that. Now that they have so much technology now, I wanted to check that out as well, which I'll probably get into that sometime this year, maybe, or next year, because we're almost at the close of this year, and I'd love to share that. You know what I mean, with folks, because that was one of the reasons why I actually did it. I was looking to see as ancient as I could get and what my culture were, what that culture practiced. And of course, being that it was Nigerian, it was Yoruba, you know what I mean? So it was a lot that I could well, which is good to use for the DNA. Well, the one that I use is doesn't look like they are, but they still do have it. I use My Heritage. I was looking for a company that doesn't resell your DNA. And 23andMe
Yeah.
was
I
for,
used African and I used
I'm
African
looking to do
ancestry for
African
mine.
ancestry. Now, even though I'll get some repeat information, I really wanted to do African
Yeah.
ancestry. You know what I mean? So we'll be, so that's something that we can all, something, a project that we may be able to discuss at some point, and doing reveals and stuff like that and discussing those things. So that I think that would be a lot of fun. But I used My Heritage is the one that I use, and you use African ancestry, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're moving back into our topic. Even with that, see that sometimes even on that journey, learning your heritage and learning who you are part of, some of that could even have an effect on how we're releasing stuff, and we don't know it. You know what I mean? So that information could be helpful, and if it's something that you need along your way, just as you did when you were searching for specific things, you know what I mean? Trying to get confirmation what you had already felt in your spirit, and then you got the paper confirmation, you were able to move on to the next step from there. So that's still, even though you said we went off topic, I mean, it's still aligned with the topic per se, because sometimes knowing your DNA and where you come from can help you better understand some of the seasons that you're going through right now, and also help you navigate. Even though now we all here as Kemetic practitioners, we tap into ancient. Let's keep in mind that even with that information, we live today. We don't live then. Yet Sankofa can be
Too.
very influential and important to some of the things that we're going through. Sometimes you got to go back and get it, find
But
out
they
what
tell you to go back and get it. Why though? We have to remember the
right.
whole purpose of, we got these things all the time. We only do parts of it. You go back and get it so you won't forget, and you bring it back so you can be
That's
able
right.
to move forward and not make the same mistakes. You just don't go back and get it and try to live in it and recreate it.
That's right. That's right. Because sometimes that's where we fail. We go back, get it, and try to live in that. We can't do that. You can't rewind time, but we can bring that. We can bring those things and cultivate what was done. That helps us, like you said, understand where we are, and it also helps us on making those choices and decisions on where we're going. Decisions that we when we're stuck and frozen in decision making, we're at the crossroads trying to get that guitar tuned. Do we go left? Do we go right? Do we go straight? You know that movie, The Crossroads, with the guitar player. You know, he had the devil tune his guitar. Well, we know that that's symbolic, but
One of the people said they used My Heritage and African ancestry, and the results were contradictory. They may not have been. It just may be how you look at it. And depending what methodologies they were using and what part of your DNA they were touching to see. So sometimes that can happen. I am a medical technologist. Well, I was a medical technologist for 20 years. So it depends on what they did.
You're right. It is the methods too. They can be different methods. Are they using like the assays? Are they doing, you know what I mean? Depends on what methods. You're absolutely right.
Because African ancestry just does specifically your father, one specific bloodline. That's it. Where though my heritage may do a little bit more of a broader thing, taking connection to other parts of your DNA, and therefore you're going to get a broader connection to what that is, which is just one piece, technically speaking, is what African ancestry does.
And St. James, that's right. Go back and get it and modernize it. That's exactly right. And you and that helps with some of the stuff. Like I said, like we were talking about those seasons and releasing things. Sometimes that even helps you to guide you in your decision making, to help you understand, okay, there's a pull. You got, a lot of us will have this pull. What is this pull? What is it? You find yourself going through those similar cycles, and you're pretty good at making decisions, but for some reason you can't get through whatever this particular thing is. Well, that's where your ancestors come in and they help. You know what I mean? And that can definitely be a help. So that's Jason, you mean doing it again? I think that's in Curtis, Sinet Cortia, that's talking about using the ancestry, my heritage and African ancestry.
Oh, she's saying, is that what you mean by, she's talking about, is that what you mean by modernizing?
Oh, he's saying you're talking about
so I'm gonna touch on both of those.
I
think when he was saying is that what you're meaning by modernizing? I'm doing it again. He does mean doing it again, but again, he means modernize it, meaning that we don't go back and try to recreate the past and sit in it. You know how some cultures have this thing when we have to dress like they dressed back then. We have to do every exact thing the way they did. It means modernize. So we're taking that. Yes, we're using it again, but we're modernizing it. And then also talking about African ancestry. They do both paternal and maternal. However, if you are a woman, they can only do your maternal. That's it. And they do men, so they can do paternal before a man. You can do paternal and maternal because you have the X and the Y chromosome, whereas women, we don't. So their methodology, that's all they do. Yeah.
Oh, she was saying no, not that, asking just the same test. Okay, same test. Okay. Yeah. Regarding
the we're gonna move into, so we want to do talk about our community release too, right? And how we
yes
as a community, perhaps it's division between us, perhaps it's comparison or old disagreements, perhaps it's the need to always be right. Perhaps it's competition where cooperation would better serve my odds. Perhaps it's the old way of doing things that no longer serve the community. Right. What? Remember that one? I think that's a good one, because sometimes what I've seen in the community, we have elders, we have different people, and I've seen in different spaces I've been in the community where people will get into strong, heavy debates, I'm going to say, over things because they feel that that's how it should be, because that's what works for them, or that's how they see it, and they have no room for opening to understand something other than what they say. You have to do it this way. If you didn't do it that way, you're wrong. You're not a Kemetic practitioner. You are not a correct priest, or whatever it may be. I've seen some of those debates. I'm gonna say that, very strong debates, and it'd be a little intense, and it don't even be that serious. That's just your way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? If it works for you, it works for you, brother or sister, but that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, it's something else. But yeah, definitely, like we said, perhaps it's the old ways of doing things that no longer serve the community. But maybe we have the courage to acknowledge what has completed its purpose, right? What has completed our purpose in our community. Maybe release without dishonoring those things. All this is going right back to some of the stuff we said about, the opening the way may be different. We're not dishonoring anything, but understanding some things have completed, and we're moving into the next chapter, and those chapters look different. We're not taking away. Without those other chapters, we on chapter 10. Without chapter 1 through 9, we can't be where we are. But so we're not dishonoring them, we're honoring them, but we know they are complete, and now it's moving on to the next one. Maybe remember without remaining trapped, and maybe move forward together. That is the most important. Maybe move forward
about the together. Elders, like you just mentioned, and talking about the elders, I've seen some strong debates where the younger scholars, younger folks who are doing the work, strongly debate with the elders that, this isn't right. It's just like you said. May we simply be able to move forward without dishonoring, because yes, new information does become available, more digging does take place, we do unearth more information. Now, Like you just said a moment ago, without chapters 1 through 3, we wouldn't get to chapter 4. So instead of dishonoring the elder for the work that they've done, even if you've uncovered more, you've evolved, and perhaps what you found out, what their chapters 1 through 4, I'm not going to say was wrong or right, but you've evolved from that. You've been able to
You were
do,
add on
you are able
to.
to add on to the layers. You are able to do more. Honor the work that those elders have done without being dishonorable, without having to be condescending to them. They still started the work, and now we're picking up the torch. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's what Syncretia said. I agree. No dishonor isn't necessary. Without the older knowledge, you wouldn't have the new. That was something, it's
Absolutely.
stepping grounds, right? We wouldn't even know where to begin at, and you wouldn't be able to get to where you were, because you would have had to start from the beginning. But because
Absolutely.
you read that book, because you sat at the feet of these elders, it was able to open your mind
Right. And
to
remember,
look more and to research more. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's about building on
that's
something
right.
that's already there, adding more to the library that is there, if that is your purpose, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. And always remember, people that are 80 plus, some that are no longer with us, that opened the gates and started the beginning works of what we're continuing to do. Remember the struggle. Remember what they had to go through. Remember how they were oppressed
Do
and look for this knowledge. Now we have it at our fingertips. We got to remember to keep ego ass right where it belongs, and it doesn't belong in any of this work, because they were beaten, they were lynched, they were all kinds of things, just searching, not even finding, because some of them never necessarily found, but they searched. And once they were able to find something, it was their time to pass it on, because now they spent most of their lives searching. And as soon as they were able to find just one book, their time was up. So now we've picked that book up and we're able to open it without getting lynched. So we have to remember the transitions to this stuff too, and the things that people had to go through for us to even open these books, to click these buttons. You know what I mean? So we always got to keep that in mind. And I definitely, like she said, no, it goes both ways. Older, and what she say here, and it goes both ways. Older, this the young. Yeah, yes, that's true. That is true. But
vice versa, yeah.
respect, absolutely, because now these youngins have the strength and the desire and the ambition to keep going. That's what's needed. That's definitely what's needed.
So true. Man, this is a great conversation. I think this is the beginning of more to come in so many different ways. But yes, for sure.
Absolutely, especially as that comes to community, and as also as we're talking about community release and things like that. You got to be okay to move on from a specific type of, I don't know, groups or whatever you want to call it. You got to be able to, if you limit yourself, you know what I mean, to certain things, then you can't continue to grow. And sometimes those seasons are over as well. We often want to be just, in just a tight little, this is mine, but we have to be able to open up the gates so that we welcome in multiple facets, multiple avenues of that education, of that knowledge, of spirituality, all of those things. You know what I mean? Because there's no limit to this. We don't know what the limit is. We have no idea, because none of us have reached it.
Do I? We may not ever be able to either in our lifetimes, but we just adding on for someone else to, take and possibly add on to it or learn from it, just like, the elders did for us. That's it. That's
right.
Want to move into our prayer requests?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and open the space for prayer requests. Since today is especially, we pray for those who are struggling and letting go. For those grieving what has already ended. For those afraid afraid of what's coming next. What's next? For those caught in a cycle that they are ready to break. For those seeking forgiveness. For those that are seeking closure, for those that are ready for a new beginning, may Ma'at bring balance. May the Neteru provide strength, and may the ancestors provide wisdom. May every heart find the courage to release what no longer serves. And of course, at this time, doing a prayer session, if there is anyone in the chat that can hear us that have any type of prayer request for yourselves, for your family members, please at this time, feel free to put that in the chat so that we can raise your name up and speak it into existence. Words have the power. Hekau, right? So we can definitely do that. But we do pray that for all of you, including ourselves, because I know that both Sashat and myself, we're evolving, we're growing, we're working on many of things that are in our hearts and ideas that we're making individually and together, making come into existence and to become a reality, not, no longer just conversations. We're making things a reality. And we'll talk about some of that in announcements too, for what Sanet tongue twisted. So Shot has got going on, which is exciting as well. But again, just to anybody out there that has any prayer request, and especially in, even on board or outside of what we discussed today, anyone who is struggling with releasing and moving on to your next, your next supposed to be, your next chapter, your next season, now's the time, to be ready to release. And I always say, even though the song says pack light, empty the bag, pack nothing. Pick things up and put them down again. You know what I mean? So that you're not carrying a heavy bag. You know what I mean? You may need just a satchel for your specific tools, but you don't need to carry a heavy bag of burdens. Especially many of us have been carrying burdens our whole lives. I wouldn't want to pick that shit up again, and I don't plan on it.
Too.
I don't want to add new ones either. I want to move through these cycles as they come. Get whatever I'm supposed to get, whatever those crops bear through each of these seasons, whatever is meant for me to harvest. Things, if anything comes up and it didn't grow right and it was rotten, I pray that the Neteru give me the discernment to uproot it and replant again. But I don't want to carry them. I don't want to keep them. You know what I mean? I want to move through the rest of this life. Many of us are halfway through, according to what we see the numbers to be. You know what I mean? So I don't plan on making my back any any more distressed than it has been in the past.
Yeah. Do I too? Something that says here, sometimes the most Ma'at-centered thing that we can recognize is that a cycle has completed, and have the courage not to reopen it, to move forward.
That is true. Very true. Very true. Before we even move on, I never did check over. I just wanted to take a look over in Facebook because most of the comments that we see here are from YouTube. So I just wanted to make sure to address, and I didn't.
I just checked a second. I don't think I saw anything.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Nope.
But go ahead. You check too.
I just hadn't checked to make sure. We can go into some of the announcements. We did have a couple of birthdays this week. I saw that we had Sanette Brittany Motley. Her birthday was this week. Out there somewhere. We wish you a happy solar return and many more. We had somebody else I saw whose birthday was this week. Do you know right offhand?
I saw. It
was right on my mind. Who?
Well, I want to say Leslie, but I think that's wrong.
Let me see if I can. Let's see, Brittany. There was another. I know for sure.
It definitely was
Cheryl Lee. That's who it was.
Cheryl Lee. That's what I knew. It was an L.
It was Cheryl Lee.
Cheryl Lee. Yes, I was like, Oh,
Look,
wow. That's really
that
good.
one, I really hope, I haven't seen her in our chats and stuff like that, but I've seen her. I know she's still active. She's posted online. I saw a post a couple of days ago about something that was going on medically with a young girl, a young child that she had posted. Might have been her niece or granddaughter, but and listen, Sinette Cheryl. uh I like,
Yes,
I got
beautiful,
love
beautiful
for everyone, but
spirit.
yes, indeed, beautiful, beautiful spirit. I told you when my mom passed away, because she's never home, but she lives in the DMV area in Maryland. Snett Cheryl does, so she lives not too far. And of course, everybody knows my mom passed away, and I just happened to look in the congregation, and guess who was there? She was there. I mean, that she show up at all kind of times and you would just never know, and she's sitting in the sitting in the crowd. So shout out to you and happy birthday to you. We wish you, of course, many more trips around the sun, of course, um checking to see if there's anybody else before the week before next week. Looks like that's all of our folks um that had, yeah. But yes, and that's Cheryl. I'm gonna have to give her a call, in fact, just to reach out to her, because I haven't heard her voice in some time. Now with some announcements going on. Oh,
One announcement that I would like to share, like you said, this is for all the committed community. So we have Hemnetter Imbar Ma'at, um, from the House of Set, the House of Magical Devotion. She's the former priestess of the Temple of Ranu. She has a class starting up September 14th.
yep,
It's called A Committed Guide to the 7 Days. It's going to be a 7-week course. I will try to maybe put a link out. Let me see if I can do that right
I
now.
did. I put
Um,
one out in the group when she
okay.
announced, because she's got one more, her third and final orientation coming up,
Yeah.
and I think that's the 31st. Let me look.
Um, I
I'm
can't even remember that part,
I'm
but
looking here just to make sure, but I did post it yesterday. Let me tell you, hold
yeah,
on
I
one.
just posted something just now, but it's going to be underneath my YouTube Jagan Nation Builders. But
Okay.
did it post? Yeah, a link to some information about it. Um, so yeah, that is something I wanted to make sure. I want to put that out there that I saw to support each other.
Yes, yes, yes. And I want to say it's the 31st. When I saw her post about it, I did share it on our page, and I was
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that I can see it there. I will go to her page and put it again, but I know that I did. And here it is right here. Comedic Guide. Oh, I also shared, if you guys didn't get a chance to see Ra'u Nefer's Comedic Guided Meditation from the other day, I did put that on there as well. And just keeping in mind, we definitely want to support all the comedic community. But I
Yes.
did put her and Bar's post there, but it's weird because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm just gonna go to her page and post it again right now, because I don't want to forget. And you said you put something there, right?
Yeah, I just put something in the chat on for YouTube, a link to her a page that just has information discussing it and talking about it
Got
on
it.
there. Um,
Right.
and it gives more information about it, the cost of it, and everything else. She also has on there, like, I think if you when Shinkai posts what she has and she's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the orientation is knowledge. You got a
Yeah,
class right there
man.
for free. Let me tell you, this Himnetzer is very knowledgeable, very, very, very knowledgeable.
There, I just put
Amazing.
it on there. And there we go. There we go. Yeah, she is not she. We went to one of the orientations. Yes. Put that in WhatsApp too. I certainly will. I certainly will send James. I definitely will. Okay. Definitely will. But yes, and it is the 31st. I see it there. So she's got
That's what she has. She's having one more orientation on the
mhm,
31st.
for the
Yeah, because I
last
believe
one, the third orientation. Yep.
the actual course starts September 14th.
Yes. I'll put that in the WhatsApp group. But yes, indeed. And we went, and I'm talking about, like she said, we got a rack of information just from orientation. You know what I mean? She's talking about the netru of the days of the week, and what the importance of the colors of the day are, and how you can invoke those certain energies, and working with certain netru. She's definitely got it together. For sure.
Yes.
You would do you well to check her out if anybody is interested in that class, and at least go to that, register for the orientation so you can see what she has to offer. You and I telling them ain't gonna do it no justice. Y'all should
None,
definitely
none at all. None at all.
check it out.
None. For sure.
hmm Another announcement is I'll have our Sinette tell us a little bit about what she's doing.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys, anybody who's seen anything on social media, I'm reopening up myself to my purpose and things that I'm doing. And I don't want to call my brand, I call it now the house per Ankh, right? Of Little House Ann's Harmonies, House of Life, Remembrance and Nourishment. And then those things, there's many different things that I do. But coming up on Friday, it's a full moon. So I will be doing a full moon ritual ceremony, which is Friday the 28th around 8 p.m. It's called the Sacred Release. It's also very much in alignment in everything that we discussed and talked about today. So I will be posting, and actually I'll do that too. I'll put the link, and it's open for all. It's not just a women thing, it's all. If anybody you want to do be committed to doing this in a ritualistic way of closing out those chapters, completing them, honoring them, releasing them, and being open to becoming what is coming into your life. This is a great space to do that during this full moon time. It gives us the extra cosmology wise, energy in order to do that. But I'll put the link here too, for you guys for registration, but I'll also be posting on all my social media platforms a little bit more information about it, and I will with the link as well for registration. Let me do that right now, but I'll put that link in here on this YouTube page for you guys as well.
Mhm. And I will just say, I went to one of her moon rituals. You and I did a private one, more so to speak, and it's private anyway. It's not open to the public, so you do need to register. So I registered. But let me tell you something that, matter of fact, I'm not going to give up too much information, because to me, a lot of what was done was private, and I think you need to register to see. But it's very beneficial. Let's just say that. Let's
Oh,
just say that.
and also say this is not something that you have to pay for, and anybody can come. You don't have to go buy a whole bunch of things, get all these crystals and all this other stuff to do it. It is very accessible for everyone who wants to do it. It is just, you have to register because it is going to be a sacred space that's going to be created on this virtual space for us. So that's why you need to register, so I can email you and send you out more information about it.
Absolutely,
It's a little,
absolutely.
and it's also a glimpse into what it is that myself, Shashat Ma'aka, is walking into my purpose and my name, y'all. So finna see a little taste of what that's about to be.
Mm-hmm. And you can be more supportive. Again, we need to start making sure that across the board that we are supporting our Kemetic practitioners and community across the board. So that's also important. And I know many of us are, but we've got to be able to find many ways to put the information out there too, because I think a lot of people want to support a lot of things that's going on, but they have to find out about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's important. And any of you that have things going on, just like you said last week, anything's going on, accolades, anything, you may think they're small wins, but we definitely want to let you know that there's no such thing as a small win. So let us know.
Exactly.
Either one of us will make sure to announce it, place it on the announcement, because I think the things deserve to be recognized. You may think that it's a
Yes,
small feat, but a win is a win. Today you
it
might
is.
have a walk and you walked, or whatever the case may be. It could be something, whatever it may be.
Anything.
If it's a
You
win,
may
it's
think
a
it's
win.
small, but
Right.
somebody else hearing what it is that you just accomplished may be a great thing to them, so they can see that they can do it as well. We
Absolutely.
want to honor, we want to give adoration, we want to give praise, and celebrate all of us. And I'm saying this here, but Shinkai, we want to talk about it on the back end or whatever. But so I hope it's okay to say this. Some of y'all that be in these that be here every Sunday, y'all finna get hit up. You finna be live and on person on this screen. You feel me?
That's
That's what
right.
I'm finna hit you up, yo.
And that's exactly
This
right. You
date,
know,
can you be
that's
here?
how we got some of the folks on here. We reach out this space again, where you're seeing us every Sunday, but this is just us opening the space. This space belongs to all of us. And you should be heard, you should be seen, you know, just some we don't like to be seen, just like most people don't want to be you know. So it's not like
And
we,
also, exactly. If you guys have something you want to talk about, you want to say, even if something comes on you, listen. This, like we said, we're just opening up this space, and it's led by spirit, right? It's led, and we're guided through that. So if you come on here and something touches you, you need to say it. Send that message out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can I hit up on this? Has been been pressing me to talk about and kind of get it to the community, or you just need space to be whatever. That is what this sacred space is for. Please do not ever feel like you have to wait or you got to do this. We all have formalities here. That ain't we ain't that deep with that formality for this particular setting and space. So if you're on here and you're typing and they're just speaking and you don't want to type it and you feel like it's something that you want to have your voice resonated with what you're saying, say it.
and
Don't
we'll
do
pull you
not
right in
hold
here.
back. Again, let complete that back to walk into who you are. Open it up, say it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Listen to yourself.
Absolutely. Now I believe I believe that there's a Comedic Ascension today, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's today.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and I think that that's it. That will be at 12, on the regular Shrine page. Any other announcements that anybody ever has, if you got something going on, if you got any YouTube channels, anything that you're doing out there as it pertains to our African diaspora, the comedic community, let us know so that we can support that. Make sure we show up. Jegna Nation Builders, I've just I see you there. Now I don't see Melanation app here today, but Melanation app does something every Wednesday on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you all check that out. Every Wednesday, he is on there faithfully. And that's Tahuti Forever. So check him out. That's a Melanation app. Again, he's talking about an up and coming app. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I think some of our members and some Jason, Senator Tom, myself, we were on there with them one night. But check him out on Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays he's there. He's there faithfully, and he definitely could use some support over there. So check him out there. That is, I believe, all that I have for today. Is there anything else that? Oh yeah, and you all know we didn't say this last week, although it is August 23rd. We didn't mention this last week, and I'm sure everybody is aware that Baba Hrw's solar return or birthday is this month, and it was on the 8th of August. So just a reminder of that. He was you still, the month is still here. If you all have any ancestral altars that you honor Baba Hrw on there, just make sure to if you haven't already. Most people probably have already celebrated that birthday for him, but just in case you haven't. Other than that, I don't think there's any other announcements. Do you have any others?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we get
adoration.
we get ready to close out then. It has been a great conversation today, as always. So we'll say dua in ma'at, dua in ra, dua in asar, dua in aset, dua in heru. Dua to all of the Netaru who guide us through transformation and renewal. May we release what has completed its purpose. May we keep the wisdom and release the weight. Oh yeah. May we honor the past without living it.
Oh,
May we step into the future without fear. May our hearts be lighter, our paths be made clear, and our lives continue to move towards Ma'at. What is finished, let it be finished.
be finished.
All
Is
right. What
good.
is finished, let it be finished. What is learned, let it become wisdom. What is
Yes.
release, let it make room for new life, new Ankh.
Too.
Okay. Dua in Heru, praise to the day and every day. So Anku Jasaneb to all of you. Shimon
Johnson.
Ma'at.
Yeah. Happy to watch.
We shall see you all next week.